On Friday, September the 26th, a meeting of Parliament was supposed to take place. The first agenda point was incoming business. Second agenda point was related to the discussion on two resolutions adopted by the tripartite meeting requesting the Kingdom of Government to request the Kingdom Council of State to advise on the actions of Kingdom Government with regards to the instruction given to the governors of St. Martin and the governor of Aruba, as well as introduction of an independent institution that will issue binding rulings in strictly legal disputes within the kingdom. The third agenda point was a draft national ordinance regarding changes to the 2014 budget. This is the second time the meeting had to take place due to a lack of attendance by parliamentarians. Member of Parliament Roy Marlin speaks to reporters after the meeting was postponed. Second time the meeting has been postponed, dealing with the amendments to the 2014 budget. How do you feel about that?
Well, I like to say it is what it is. I cannot do nothing about it. It's just a pity that members of Parliament do not feel themselves responsible enough to be present for such an important meeting. We know how we know of the Kingdom law on financial supervision. We know of the CFT, and I believe it is important that if we have our job to do, that we finalize the 2014 first budget amendment, because the 2015 budget still needs to be handled before the end of the year. So all I can say, it is what it is, and it's a pity that members of Parliament have not shown enough responsibility to give the Minister of Finance, who have been here for the second time, the opportunity for him to explain in a public meeting the budget amendments, and let the members of Parliament vote on it. If they vote for it or they vote it down, doesn't matter, but at least then we know it has been handled, and then we are in compliance with the CFT and with the budget amendment, which is the first budget amendment that needs to be made.
Now, dealing with this issue, it has to be called within the next 2 days once again. Do you think then something can be done, or will it rest until the new incoming Parliament comes in?
I would hope that, I think the law says it has to be called within 24 hours, and the meeting will proceed despite the, notwithstanding the amount of members present. So I would hope that the chair lady would follow the rules of order, which she didn't do, because this meeting had to take place about, I think it was about 4, 5, 6 weeks ago. I can't even remember the time. So hopefully the chair lady this time around will follow the rules of order, which she so much wanted change, and we made the changes. Hopefully she'll follow it, and we'll have the meeting within 24 hours.
4 members went to Palo Latino. You've always been vocal about Palo Latino meetings. Is this one of the examples that you met?
This is not one of the examples. Overall, I have been vocal about Palo Latino, because I always stated that we are wasting money going to Palo Latino. There's not one member of Parliament for the last 4 years could come back and have presented a report here in Parliament publicly on what they have achieved in Palo Latino. Now, I haven't seen none yet for the 4 years' time. So, and again, I believe that the money we use for Palo Latino, it could have been used different, could have been used much more efficiently by us getting the necessary legal expertise in the employ of Parliament, that Parliament could have come more towards its functioning, whereby Parliament could have do more work on legislation, presenting of draft laws, etc.
Give us a number. How much is annually spent on Palo Latino?
The budget for Parliament was 750,000 guilders, and it was slashed in 2014 based on a motion to 375,000 guilders. In fact, the budget amendment that we have to deal with also deals with a motion that Parliament presented in January, whereby the budget of travel for Parliament would have been slashed. So this budget amendment also deals with that. Now, if Parliament continue spending without taking the budget amendment, without taking the motion into consideration, I don't know. But if that is so, then Parliament has also been wrong by accepting a motion to cut the travel for budget for Parliament, and then to continue spending as if it's business as usual.
What are the consequences for us not handling this amendment as soon as possible?
I think I indicated the consequences. We have to try to avoid getting the CFT on our back, getting the Kingdom government on our back, and being negatively reported on all the time as a young country.
Any advice for the incoming parliamentarians where that is concerned?
Well, I would just tell the incoming parliamentarians they got to be responsible.
Mr. Marlin, I just have a question. Once this meeting has been called again in 2 times 24 hours, do you still plan to table your amendment to the budget amendment regarding the forest property?
Definitely.
You
Definitely.
will still be presenting it?
Definitely. I don't believe that the deal to purchase the forest property land is a deal that is beneficial to the people of St. Martin. So I will definitely present the budget amendment. And if it's voted down or voted up, I don't know. But at least I know I have done my duty as a member of parliament.
What is next for Roy Marlin?
Roy Marlin is a civil servant. I've sent in a letter the day before yesterday asking government to put me back into active service because I had leave of absence, and hopefully they will put me back in active. They have to put me back in active service actually, and place me someplace within the administration which part I can function.
What's your preference?
I have no preference. They can even put me over wherever. I have no preference. I think I can function in any department that they put me in.
Where were you before you took leave of absence?
Before I took leave of absence was just the time when we were going over to the new organizational structure. So then at that time they had me placed as Boven formative.
And what's?
Above the formation.
Yeah, but what kind of work? What kind of?
Just Boven formative. They had me Boven formative, I think, by Vromi. So it's wherever they want to place me. They'll have to have a discussion with myself though, in terms of placing me. I'll have to have the discussion with Personnel Affairs, and then we'll come to some kind of consensus.
Can we still expect you to be as vocal as you've always been, even though you will be a civil servant again?
Oh yes, because I will definitely be vocal. I have a vested interest in the community of St. Martin. My 3 children are born here. They were born here by choice. I have a vested interest in this community of St. Martin, and it is my intention, whether I am a member of parliament or not, for me to be vocal, and when I see something going wrong, for me to speak out about it. I know the newspapers will always welcome my letters to the editors, so you will definitely be seeing them from me when I see things going wrong on the island.